All right, let's talk about something real. What if you could totally overhaul your entire study system? I'm not talking months, I'm talking just 2 weeks. We're going to break down a super intense plan that's designed to do exactly that.
You know this feeling, right? You sit down, you've got the book open, you're telling yourself, okay, time to be productive. But then, you just kind of stare at the page. You check your phone for a sec, maybe go get some water, and bam, suddenly 2 hours are just gone and you've learned absolutely nothing, accomplished zero.
And all that's left is that horrible, sinking feeling of guilt.
Ah,
But what if? What if we could flip that script? Imagine waking up knowing exactly what you need to do, and then walking into that exam room feeling so prepared, so confident that you're literally thinking, I've already won this thing. That's the goal here.
Okay, so this powerful shift has a pretty intense name, academic violence. And look, let's just get this out of the way right now. This has nothing to do with violence against people. It's about waging war on your own bad habits. It's a full-on assault against procrastination, against laziness, and against that awful brain fog of confusion.
So what's really going on here? Why do so many of us struggle? Well, listen to this because it's important. It's almost never because you're not smart enough. It's because your system is broken. You're studying randomly, you're rereading the same notes over and over again, and they never stick. You're wasting hours on the wrong things. So the answer isn't to just study harder. No way. The answer is to completely reset the system.
And this is the roadmap for that reset. It's a super structured 14-day plan broken down into 4 clear phases. First, we're going to map the battlefield. Then, we attack the weak spots. After that, it's time to switch into exam mode. And finally, we master everything for those top marks. So let's dive into each step.
All right, phase 1. This is for days 1, 2, and 3. The mission? Destroy the chaos. And this whole thing starts with being brutally honest with yourself. I mean, think about it. You can't win a battle if you don't even know where the enemy is, right? And for us, the enemy is that nagging feeling of not knowing what you don't know.
So here's what you're going to do. It's simple. You grab the syllabus for your class and you write down every single topic. Then you go through that list and you color code it. Green for, yep, I got this. Yellow for, I kind of get it, but it's shaky. And red for, I am completely and totally lost here.
And you know what's wild? When you actually do this, you're going to notice something that's basically the 80-20 rule in action. You'll probably find that only about 20% of the topics are in that red zone. But, and this is the big but, that tiny 20% of difficult stuff is probably causing a whopping 80% of your mistakes on exams. And that's our target.
Okay, which brings us to phase 2, days 4 through 7. The mission here is super simple, but it's intense. We are going to attack that 20%. You're going to focus pretty much all of your energy on just those red topics you found. This is where the real battle begins.
but how you attack makes all the difference. Just rereading your notes? That's passive. It's basically useless. Your brain doesn't learn that way. It learns from effort, from struggle. So you gotta get active. Say the concepts out loud. Explain it to your dog, your plant, an imaginary friend. I don't care. And most importantly, solve problems. Tons and tons of problems.
And here it is, maybe the single most powerful tool in this entire phase. After you've studied one of those red topics, you close the book, you put it away, and you ask yourself one simple question. Can I explain this out loud right now without looking? If the answer is no, you don't really get it yet. It's a simple test, but man, is it effective. All right, we're halfway through. Now we hit phase 3, days 8 through 11. This is where we make a huge shift. We're moving away from just learning the material and into mastering performance. And that's a key distinction, because knowing something in theory and actually being able to use it when the clock is ticking, well, those are two totally different skills. So how do you build that performance skill? You've got to simulate the real thing. Here's the drill. You set a timer for 1 hour. You grab old exam questions, and for that hour, it's just you and the test. No phone, no music, zero distractions. And here's a pro tip, don't check your answers right away. Just focus on working against that clock.
And if you do this over and over, something really cool starts to happen. Your brain begins to see the patterns. You start noticing the same types of questions, the same little tricks the professors use, the same core ideas coming up again and again. And all of a sudden, the exam doesn't feel like some random, scary thing anymore. It actually starts to feel predictable.
This leads us right into the final phase. And honestly, this is the most strategic one. We're talking days 12, 13, and 14. This is what's called the full marks method, and it's all about finding your high yield zone.
This is the part that takes you from just getting by to absolutely crushing it. So, you take all that practice work you've been doing, and you become a detective. You analyze it. You ask yourself, okay, which topics keep popping up over and over? Which kinds of problems give me the most points for the least amount of effort? When you do this, you uncover your personal high-yield zone. And this whole process reveals a fundamental secret about exams. You do not need to know 100% of everything, not even close. Real success comes from absolutely mastering the right 40%, the stuff that shows up all the time and is worth the most points. That, my friends, is what strategic studying is all about.
So, let's bring this all home. Let's talk about the big realization that comes out of this whole 14-day challenge. Because when people actually stick to this system, they don't just learn chemistry or history, they learn something pretty fundamental about themselves.
They figure out they were never actually lazy. They were just directionless. See, our brains crave clarity. They want a plan. And the moment you take away the confusion and give your brain a clear step-by-step mission, focus almost becomes automatic. And motivation, it just shows up because you can actually see yourself making progress every single day. And it all comes down to this one number, 14. 14 days, that's it. This isn't some endless soul-crushing marathon. It's a short, focused, high-intensity sprint that's designed to completely rewire how you think about learning.
So let me leave you with this final thought. The biggest gap between the students who struggle and the students who get top marks, it's almost never about intelligence. It's about strategy. So my challenge to you is, why not try it? Just give this reset 2 weeks. See what happens when you decide to get a little violent with your own bad habits.